One of the other fun things about it is when you get your piece in, let's switch to a barcode printer. I'm going to actually go ahead and click here, and we're going to go White Fang again. And let's see here. Let's go to, so this one has a barcode number on it. Let's go ahead and go to this one. So if I click here, here's the little Call of the Wild White Fang. So you can kind of add all sorts of photos, galleries, whatever you needed to do. If you needed a barcode generated from this particular one, you could actually click right here, and it creates a little barcode generator for you. And then you'll be like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and print that off. Once again, you have to change your printer to, this is my little Dymo label printer. And let's say that I wanted 2 of those, and click. So there's 2 little things, okay? Boom, piece of cake. Here's how quick it could work if you were working in a kind of like a retail environment.
It tells your system that that barcode now is attached automatically to that White Fang.
Correct. That is correct, yes. And so basically what ends up happening here is if you're in a cart right here, say you're starting a cart, and somebody brought up the White Fang book. Let's see here if we could, let me just do this real quick. This one here has been sitting a while. Let me print out another little label. Like it looks like it just kind of ran that together just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it back up again. I'm just doing a quick little simple search, and we'll go into White Fang, and we'll just, alrighty. That is a super long barcode. That's usually not what it would really be like. Let's pretend that it was like that, okay? We'll just hit edit on that guy, and then we'll just say barcode generator, and now we'll say get 2 of those guys. So once again, I'll just pop back to my, oh, did I hit the wrong printer? I hit the wrong printer, my bad. Sorry. Dymo label printer, and I needed 2 of them. Like I have my home printers and all that kind of stuff selected, but like I just sent it to the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. Now we got this. I'll go back to my cart. I'm sitting here ready, and somebody comes in and says, cool, I'd like to get that White Fang book. And then you just go like this. Boop. And it just added it right to the cart. Just that easy, simply just scanning a little barcode thing. Not required, but it definitely kind of helps speed stuff up.
Yeah.
Depending on how you're ready. And it's now like, okay, cool. What else would you like? Say you were like, you know what, I can't remember, but I think that we have one in there called something under Treehouse. Oh, perfect. Add that one to the cart as well. You can add as many things as you want. So like big, small, whatever. The interface as far as the point of sale system is very quick, very fast. You can have multiple payments. You can attach customers. This one right here is what we call a counter sale, which is basically like a quick cash ticket. But if you wanted to attach it to somebody, I believe that we have some customers in here. Watch how quick you could attach it to a customer. Say you wanted to put it on account so that you knew that somebody still owed you some money. I'm just going to type in part of my last name, Brandon. Let's say that I'm going to buy it. Assign that to the cart. It automatically knew that I'm Brandon. It pulls in any of my information. He currently doesn't owe me anything. And here's his stuff. And I say checkout. And I'm going to put this one on account instead of paying for it and create the invoice. Once again, I could hit print. And okay, it remembered that particular printer. Boom. Here's my little receipt. The cool thing is now is check this out. Underneath here, if I go to Brandon's information, it says you currently owe me $31.48. Like it automatically knows because it's attached to that customer. That's called your accounts receivable in accounting terms. And so just by doing simple interactions, depending on how deep you want it to go, the system is able to kind of connect the dots for you. It kind of helps you. And so literally nothing, like we teach people accounting without using standard terms like debit and credit and chart of accounts. We say do good operations and we will track and follow you. Okay, that's really what we do. We help people tell the story. Yeah, it kind of makes it fun and stuff. So we've done a couple of these little things. Did you guys want to see the credit card swiper, or did you? Okay, let me. I'm going to switch companies. This particular one isn't set up to do a credit card swipe. Let me just switch to a different one that I know that is. We'll go to Aspen Air. This is like a fake airport site, and say we're going to buy some avgas. and we'll just go grab some, stick it in the part. Say we got 12 gallons of avgas, and we'll buy this from the Aspen area, and we'll just do a quick little counter sale. Click. We go to checkout. Now this one here actually has merchant processing set up, so it's not required. You could technically have your own merchant processing or whatever. This particular one does. So now if we're ready, so basically all I have to do here is I click on a little button that takes me to a payment page, and I said, you know what, we're going to use a card reader, and it puts a little cursor there. It's prompting, ready for it. So you grab a little card out, and you literally just come up to your little thing here, and you say, sweet. So it basically read it, and then as soon as I hit tab, it automatically populated it, and I hit submit. And then basically, click. Like literally, here is my new invoice. This happens to be in an 8.5 by 11 format instead of the skinny format. So there's a lot of different views, but I just basically swipe my card for $65, okay? Now I also want to go void that out because I don't want to pay for that. But let me show you how we would do that, okay? I would go to edit line items. Just for instance, I would come down to my approval, okay? And it says, hey, it's authorized, but it's pending. It hasn't been settled yet. And I'm going to say, I want to void that payment because I really don't want to pay $65. Just testing, okay? And I'll say void. So what that does is it actually rolls that whole thing out of the Visa payment and basically says, hey, you still owe me $65. So it automatically kind of did that. So anyway, that's how our little credit card reader would work. It's pretty slick and pretty fast as far as how that works.
Wow.
You guys want to print checks out, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go
Yeah,
pay for
show
something,
off.
okay?
Amazing.
So what we're going to do you guys want to still stay in Aspen Air, or do you want to go to a different corporation? Doesn't matter.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay,
We can stay with that.
we'll go home. You can see that the home interface on this one isn't the simple little buttons. Like there's multiple different interfaces you can do, and if you need a custom one, we can actually build you a custom interface. What it is it's basically like this. Think of it, the engine. What do you want your interior to look like? We can customize that, okay? The engine is still the engine, and it'll work, but we can customize your interface. I'm going to go ahead and go pay a little check. Expense receipts, go. And how about I actually pay myself? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
I'll say create a new expense. I'm going to say
Money-making thing.
employee, and I'm going to go ahead and click on more. Oh, I actually had business name selected. I'm going to change that to any. There's Brandon. Create the receipt. And let's say, what's a good amount that we should pay? $650?
Sure.
$650. Gloria? Gloria?
Yes.
Perfect.
Good song.
Nice. We're going to come down. Let's pretend that we're going to actually pay this into office supplies just for fun. This is where you categorize your stuff. We'll put it into our Aspen location. We'll come down and we will select our check out of Alpine Bank and say add the expense receipt. Oh, it wants my check number. So what I just did right there, this little error message, it'll walk you through it. Like if you're missing something, it kind of holds your hand a little bit to kind of help you know what's going on. So I'll just put in a check number, and I happen to have brought a bunch of checks. Gloria, can you grab, in the bottom of that bag, there's a little folder that has some checks.
Are we talking inside here or in this?
No, it's actually in a bag that we brought all these other little pieces in.
Is this not the right bag?
Let's see here. It's a different bag. Just one second. Let me see if I can grab that.
Oh, maybe it's over here.
Awesome. So I just basically just barely loaded in a check.
Okay.
I've created my expense receipt for $650, and I have a cool little button right here that says print check. So I click it, and it translates all the numbers into long string text type stuff. And I can show, hide different things if I didn't want. So say I didn't want testing with Gloria, I could literally be like, hide that. I didn't want that on my check. Okay? Hit print check. You select your printer again. And we've done 3 different printers here right now. And so I just say print. What it does is it comes back and says, hey, good job. Basically means it correctly spooled it to the printer. If something happened, I could show you how to make that so you could do a reprint. And if you did, it would flag it. But it's printing right now. In the meantime, I'm actually going to say, edit the line items. And here's your check that it just printed out right here. And to show you just some of the fun scanning capabilities, you plop it in like this. I'm now in the photo management section. I'm ready for it. I'm going to go ahead and go right here. I'm going to say show the desktop, pull up my little scanner wizard, which basically says, okay, I'm now scanning, and then I'll show you how we actually are going to automatically attach this right to the document. Custom, next, next. So it's going to end up being number 15, and I'm going to come back here, and as soon as I hear it do its little backtrack thing, meaning that the scan is done, I'll go find that particular piece, and then we'll attach it, it'll upload, and I literally have full documentation like that, okay? So that's my cue. I just heard it go backwards. I say browse. It actually brought me right to the right spot. I find the one that I needed, number 15. I can add captions if I needed to. It's a piece of cake. Say add the photo. What it does behind the scenes, it basically just pulled the scan in, and so now technically expense receipt number 48 for $650 has a full-on scan of my entire image that we just did. So we just played with all the quick little toys in a quick little snippet, but like there's tons of options that you can do. You can schedule, you can do this, you can do that, you can communicate, you can have user permissions, and there's over 100 different permissions. And so if you have somebody that's really high, they're loaded. If you have somebody else, you're like, you just stay here.
Right.
And you can basically let them play. So here's what happens, Gloria, and this is fun, and I hope you're okay. Sometimes I get so excited, I'm like, ah, ah, ah. So here's what normally happens. You have people who do something, so then there's like a wall, some sort of a gap, and then somebody else has to pick up that same ball, re-enter it into a system, do something like this. What we have done with Adilas is literally just what Henry Ford did with the automobile industry, okay? He created a thing called an assembly line. So here's what we do. Why don't we permission it out and let it start at the source, and we'll say, oh, you can only go to this far. Sure. Okay, and then basically it sits in a little holding container, okay, until the next person who has a higher permission says, oh, good data, I'll pull that across, rather than re-entering it. So what happens is you basically take data in a linear fashion like this, and you run it over time, versus separate entries, all paper trails, all coming into one bottleneck, and then trying to redisseminate it. You set it up similar to every single business practice. Just-in-time inventory, just-in-time calculations, just-in-time code, just-in-time, accounting. So that's kind of where we're headed with it. But it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Really exciting. So exciting.
You do a very good job explaining it.
You do, because I get it. I don't, but it's fascinating, and the whole time I'm thinking, world. Yeah.
You know what? Can I tell you who our customers are? People who have pain. Okay? If you have a pain, then you have a need. If you're perfectly happy, then we're going to leave you perfectly happy, and we're fine with that.
It works, but if you've got,
If you have some business smarts and you know some stuff like this, if you take a brand new newbie off the street, it's like, hey, I just got my business license. They have no clue what's going to happen as far as inventory and this, and how am I going to deal with the state, and how am I going to deal with taxes and payroll and such. But if you have somebody who has some business smarts and they've got some pain, we can help them. Because they're like, oh my goodness, you mean it just did my receivables? You mean it just did my payables? You mean I just tied all these, because it's all in a system, it all can work together. A common thing that you will see throughout tons of businesses is multiple systems. And this is common across almost all businesses. You have one for operations, you have one for your customer, you have one for your bidding, you have one for your scheduling, and then everybody tries to dump it into the accounting. What if you could have it all together like that? And so that's kind of what we've done in Adilas. And so this is from Bridgerland, a 2-week course at Bridgerland. It steered us in this direction where we started being able to track the big ticket items, okay? And then Bridgerland said, come, make us this cool commercial and this interactive thing. And we're like, wow, cool, let's mix and blend. And then we pulled it all together, and then we pulled it all. Bridgerland has been a huge piece of this entire puzzle, and I'd be happy to give back and say, Bridgerland, good job, I appreciate it. We use Bridgerland right now. I have training at the end of the month. It's a 3-day course here at Bridgerland. I'll be the instructor, and basically what happens is we'll bring the lunch series. Like some people say, what does Adilas do? And you're like, whew, did you bring a lunch? Because you kind of want to show them some of the different things. We bring them in, we do tons of training on, we use Bridgerland. We have classroom environments, whiteboards, projectors, restrooms. There's a cafeteria down the way. If we needed to have it catered, if it got big enough, we could have it catered. Like, Bridgerland has huge resources, and so we are going to be using Bridgerland for tons of different things. And so I'm a big fan of Bridgerland. Go, go.
We're a fan of yours too, but you're just amazing. So there's a lot of people out there that maybe don't realize all that Bridgerland has to afford them. Brandon, what would be your advice to them?
I would say check it out. Basically, what you have to do is you have to have a need, okay? Is it custom training? Is it just people who need to kind of be brought together in a group environment? Is it you have some students who need some skills who need to be brought up? The skills are what's going to pay your job. I got the degree at the university, and that is a nice piece of paper, and it gives me the backing, okay? But it's the skills that you have that actually make things happen. And Bridgerland is all about skills. It takes people and it gives them power. So that's what, I love it. I love it. Good stuff, good stuff. Do you have any other questions of me?
No, I don't. I'm so completely enamored by it. Wow. Just, yeah, fantastic.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Ask
if
away.
someone had purely, you said you could do e-commerce on this.
Correct.
So say someone has a product that they sell that's a digital product.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be able to sell that and deliver it through this?
Okay, we haven't had anybody who came to us and said, can you deliver a digital? But basically what it is you just find, sure, here's what we'll do. We'll put your product over here, we'll protect it by such and such passcodes as you do the interface. Basically what it is you would use standard features of Adilas, the normal engine, and then we would do a little custom tweaking, basically creating the bridges so that automatically we knew where you were getting that downloadable program for. Did I get payment for it? Like kind of some pass fails, if you will, to kind of create that.
So their customer could go to their site,
Correct.
pay for it, purchase it, have it automatically delivered, and then they just log in later and check this.
It automatically flows it right into the
I
system.
may have lots of potential customers for you.
Well, great, great. One of the neat things that we're excited about is we are growing, and we are not trying to be like the only ones out here. One of our main goals is to share. And so there's people even here around the valley already that are going to end up being consultants, trainers, front-end programmers, back-end programmers, like all kinds of neat things. And so what we want to do is we want to basically make it as easy as pie, so you can click some little settings and have somebody who's pretty smart and sharp, and then they can serve somebody up exactly what they want without having to know the techie side of the different pieces. And so that's where we're headed. We're really excited about that. But the potential is out there. Going from black screen with green little cursors and small little DOS commands to web and flash and mobile and touchscreen. We have people who use this thing on touchscreen all the time. I don't have a touchscreen type thing. They're doing touchscreen, they're servicing people, they have little queue. People come in, they already know their waiting list, they can tell how long they've been waiting, etc. Like, there are tons of tools, tons and tons of tools. But I'll be quiet, I'll be quiet.
Fascinating. Wow, it's so exciting. It's amazing. Yeah, it really, really is. Thank you for sharing all of that with me.
Thank you for having me in here.
Really fun.
I appreciate it, I appreciate it.
Goosebumps. I knew I'd have goosebumps, but you've exceeded even the goosebumps that I was anticipating. So, wow.
Well, I want to go on record as saying I am totally for Bridgerland. Bridgerland has been a huge part of the whole puzzle the whole way through, and it will continue to be.